what has been your own experience on the year of return? Dr. Aka Nyamike is still here in the studio with me. He is president of the Hoteliers Association. So, Doc, I'd like to take your review or your assessment on the year of return so far. I mean, if you can extend it, fair enough. But otherwise, even if you have to limit it to hotel or you hoteliers, it's fine. Let's hear it.
Well, Gifty, thanks so much for the opportunity. Frankly, the year of return has been a great success.
Okay.
As far as the tourism industry is concerned, and also for the hotel sector, it's been great. It started quite slowly, but then picked up mid-year, and then has ended wonderfully.
Let's look at the journey. I mean, you talk about how it started slowly and then ended wonderfully. Do you have an idea? I mean, where let's look at the dates, for example. At what point did it start slowly, and at what point do you think it peaked? Because people, there is actually a write-up for, I think, the Guardian newspaper, where they talk about tweets by President Donald Trump and Cardi B's visit, and they say that those were some of the things that actually brought a lot of people. Do you have any timelines to share on this?
I would not be able to pinpoint the timelines per se, but what I can say is that right at the beginning of the year, we were invited to this meeting with the Tourism Authority and then the Diaspora Office at the Jubilee House. And this whole concept of the year of return was revealed to us with regards to their programs and everything. So at that point, I must confess that a lot of people didn't understand what it was all about.
What the year of return was all about.
Exactly. But with time, and we need to really pat the back of the guys at GTA, because they did very well.
Was that GTA?
GTA,
Ghana Tourism
Authority.
Authority.
Yes, Demand. You know, they kept us in the know of what was going on, invited us to various meetings, and there was always an update of what was going on with regards to the programs. And I even remember that with the December program, for instance, there was a special meeting on that. Took us through every step of the way.
At that time, it had already picked up, right?
It had picked up.
It picked up.
It had picked up. So if we look at the timelines, I must say, right at the beginning, we didn't really understand. If I say we, I want to talk about the general guys in the industry. But as it went on, and as, like you said, some of these things on social media came up, and then people started seeing, quote unquote, our brothers and sisters from the diaspora in the system. That was when some consciousness came
so
up.
If I understand you properly, you're saying that the celebrities, the foreign celebrities that were attracted to Ghana by the year of return is actually what kick-started the boom for hoteliers.
It did.
It did.
It did a lot. It did a lot, and you know, at some point we had this issue about who was actually benefiting from the presence of these people in the system. And we had to explain to our members that, look, in booms like this, some will enjoy, some may not, for several reasons. Because if you look at the focus on the celebrities that have been in the system, it would appear, and rightly so probably, that it is the 3 to 5 star hotels, the big hotels, who would benefit, from it.
Why is that?
Well, as they say, monkeys dance by sizes. So you would expect that the big celebrities will go to the big hotels, obviously, and but then the smaller hotels, some of them also felt the impact of their presence. So,
so now let's get into the conversation about, for example, lifting these hotels that could not benefit from this great initiative to the level where they actually can. That's what has raised a lot of issues and a lot of discussions that have been going on social media. I'll raise for you a post by Nana Areba, I think. Nana Areba. She posted something on Facebook, and when it's ready, I'll let you have a look at it so that we talk about it. But she talks about how bookings. So let's start with bookings, for example. If you made a reservation, how do you pay? Cash, online?
Let me even extend.
What is Ghana ready for?
Let me even extend the whole picture. And it's one area that we are really concerned about. It's about online presence. Online presence. You know, 2 or so years ago, somebody did a research on the presence of hotels on the internet, talking about websites. And amazingly, they found out that about 70 or so % of hotels were not on the website.
70% of hotels in Ghana?
Yes, at that time.
Did not have a website?
Yes.
This was which year?
I think 2016, thereabouts.
Wow, that's very recent.
Yes, quite recent. I was then the regional chairman for the association. So we were surprised by that finding. So we also organized our own research within the Greater Accra. And we found the same, a similar...
You corroborated
exactly,
results.
exactly. So you see, what it means is that a lot of people outside are not able to connect with the hotels in the system.
Why is that? Why is that problem existing in the first place? I mean, how? Is it lack of education?
You see, let me put it this way: the hotel industry is an interesting industry or sector. It's purely an investment-driven industry. So you have the money, you pump it into the system. Now, so you may have the money, all right, but you may not understand the dynamics of the industry.
Business,
So it would take somebody like a general manager you have employed or somebody close to you who would explain the importance of some of these things to you to appreciate that I need to put my hotel on the website to attract people from outside. And it has to do with this born before computer thing, where see, the internet or the ICT has become a bit common, but what we don't realize is that there are still a lot of people who are yet to appreciate the role, the unique role it's playing in the system.
So there are still people who do not understand how to use technology.
Well, they don't really need to use it, but they don't even appreciate.
Appreciate it.
Yes, appreciate what it does. Its power in terms of marketing, in terms of publicity and all those things. So that is one angle that we really, really want to address, because we believe that that has been the bane of the industry in terms of linking up or connecting with people outside. And frankly, some small hotels have tried it. Budget hotels, 10 room, 20 room, they're on the internet, and they keep on getting connections from outside.
Yeah, I tell you what, there are few here in Kokomlemle. There are few small, if you like, hotels or hostels that a lot of exchange students go for. But when you look into it, most of the time, it doesn't belong to locals. It doesn't belong to Ghanaians. To what extent are Ghanaians, is the local content represented in the hotel industry? Oh,
it's quite substantial. It's quite.
If you put it on a percentage, what would that be?
I will look at it. Local content could be over 70%.
Over 70%?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
wow.
Yes, yes. You see, it's most of the foreign involvement is at the upstream level.
Okay, so the very big
The very big ones, yes. But a lot of the small ones, a lot of them are Ghanaian owned.
Are Ghanaian owned,
yes.
And they don't seem to be, living up to the level as far as, making use of technology and expanding and making themselves known outside is concerned.
That has been one of the challenges.
Okay. Now, I'd like for you to tell me how the Hoteliers Association is dealing with that particular challenge. But let me bring in Nana Ekia Areva's post. Here is what she posted on Facebook. It's a very long post. So she says long post alert. So let's move up. Let's move up a bit. So she starts by talking about how everybody is lauding the year of return and we're not looking at the flaws. So, okay, let's wait here. Let's see what we get here. She says, imagine coming into a country you don't know with friends who don't know the country either and being told that the place you booked months back has been given to someone who came into the country before you and paid cash. Not knowing the layout of the city, not having a place to put your stuff, not knowing anything about the place you've come to. As someone with real estate and hospitality company, I know that most of these establishments put their places on the website like Booking, Airbnb, Expedia, etc. And anybody using these platforms, so she goes on to talk about, they know that the platforms are safe. but it is safe because you don't have to make payments online. You can make payments when you come, you know, you meet the people. But before you come and meet the people, someone who has cash has come to pay and take in the room. Is this a problem you are familiar with?
This is not the norm. Honestly, this is not the norm. And like somebody said, things happen.
Okay.
Once a while, we have some of these rare cases.
Okay, so let's talk about not the ones. Okay, hang on. No. I want us to focus on year of return this year.
Okay.
And how prevalent this particular problem has been as far as hoteliers are concerned.
From where we sit or stand, we haven't had any feedback like this at all.
Okay, so she goes on to say that because the hotels then are taken, you go down and you try to look for, here's a post again, you try to look for another accommodation. Now she says that landlords are taking advantage of it. And we know how landlords behave in this country, right? So she says they're charging about $375 for a place with no Wi-Fi, no security, no toiletries, nothing. She says, I have had clients the past week who experienced panic attacks from finding out that they were stranded in a country they did not know. And they talk about how dusty some of the rooms are sometimes, and goes on and on and on with it. Is this also familiar?
You see, Gifty, this is where sometimes we think that the tourists or the guests need to go the extra mile in dealing with some of these, or even the tour operators. Now, you see, we have what we call the Accra Tourist Information Center, close to the Jubilee House.
The Jubilee House, yes.
We have the Ghana Tourism Authority.
Okay.
We have the Ghana Hotels Association. These are bodies that are there and ready to help with some of these situations. This thing about going to rent a place with a landlord, how is it regulated? How sure are you of your security and safety? You know, so some of these things go on at the blind side of the Tourism Authority, and it becomes an issue as a challenge to them, when in actual fact, it should not be the case.
But don't you see the problem being addressed here in this post as the fact that the country doesn't necessarily seem ready for the number of people that came in after we made all the announcements?
I'll disagree with that.
You disagree? Why?
I disagree that. I think sometimes our fixation is on the big hotels. We are so fixated on the big hotels, forgetting that there are smaller hotels.
These are the smaller hotels that don't have online payment platforms, for example.
No, so but once you're in the system, you have to find a place to accommodate yourself.
No, but she's talking about the point where you're not here. You are outside the country. Before you come, you try to reserve a room. By the time you come, someone who has cash has come to pay because you weren't able to.
That's why I'm saying that is not the norm.
It's not the norm.
That's not the norm. That's not the norm.
But it's happened, and she's complaining about it. I mean, when we started this conversation,
that could be one out of 3,000.
Really, we've had others also raise the same concern. Anyway, I mean, it's fine, but I mean, I hope that some people will send their own experiences. Unfortunately, most of you are talking about teacher licensure, teacher licensure exams. Okay, yes, let's see this one. I think I get a message here on year of return. Says year of return, laudable initiative by His Excellency President Kufuor. The low side of it for me is the returnees not visiting northern Ghana. Okay. The Bongo Rocks, Picoro Slave Camp, and the Salaga Slave Market at Upper East and Savannah region, respectively, all interesting sites for the returnees to visit. Okay, that's a different conversation. We can touch on it briefly. But you're saying that this is not. We should not be. We should not panic about this post, for example, because it's not a trend.
It is not.
I see. To what extent, though, is Ghana prepared, you know, for the numbers? We keep advertising and calling for people to come in. People are excited. I mean, Cardi B has so many people, millions of people following her on Instagram, on social media. If she says, I was in Ghana, and if just 200,000 or half, or I mean, just a little bit of her followers decide that, okay, let's go try it out. Because, you know, elsewhere, people have the habit of traveling. They say, oh, let's go try it out. And they come to Ghana. President Trump tweets, you know, something that was meant to be negative, but turns out to work positively. The people who follow Donald Trump, millions of people, a few of them decide to come. Beyonce, if all those people are coming, are we really ready?
Yes,
from the hotelier's perspective?
yes, we are ready.
How?
In terms of the facilities available. And you see, certainly we are not going to have all these people at the same time, per se.
Okay.
They are going to spread over a period. Okay, so some will go, some will come. But in terms of the number of rooms available, in terms of the hotels available, the country is prepared for now. But I also want to see there's also an opportunity for people to even invest more in the industry. Have you heard about this Rock City at in the Eastern region?
Okay.
Have you heard about that hotel?
No.
Yes.
But I don't go out a lot, so.
Oh really?
Yes,
Please
I
be
do.
going out. You know, this is a hotel that is looking at taking over 1,600.
1,600
Yes.
people.
I mean,
It's owned by a Ghanaian?
Owned by a Ghanaian.
Okay.
Owned by a Ghanaian. They just started, I think they are doing about 600 rooms for now.
Okay.
But eventually they will get that
Okay.
far. So you see, what I'm trying to say is that
What's the catch there?
for now, what we have can take care of what is coming in.
But there's the need.
But we have to, we have to look ahead and provide more facilities because of the foundation that has been laid by this year of return.
And who is supposed to make that investment?
That investment is usually done by the private sector,
Okay.
but with the encouragement of the government in terms of the basic economic environment that the government creates.
Okay, I'd like for you to say this as one sentence so
Okay.
that people can actually grab it. You're talking about investment in the industry because there is a foundation that has been set by the year of return.
Good, by the president.
Yep. Exactly. So say this in one sentence for me so people can just grasp it.
What I'm trying to say is that with this year of return, which the president declared, obviously it's been very, very successful. A lot of people have come into the system. So far, I don't think we've had any negative feedback in terms of people not having places to sleep.
Okay.
But looking forward, with the foundation that has been laid for the possibility of a lot of people coming in subsequent years, we have to start thinking of probably adding more facilities or even expansion. And that's one area we don't usually look at. There are a lot of hotels who have room to expand. And that's why I was talking about the economic environment. If we have some sort of funding, some sort of cheaper access to credit for some of these expansions, then we don't even have to build too many new hotels, but the ones existing can be expanded to face it. So yes, when the environment is improved, when the investment opportunities are there, people will go into it. And I'm sure that in the next, I want to predict that in the next 5-10 years, a lot of hotels will spring up.
I see.
Because of this foundation that has been laid.
Hopefully. We'll see how that goes. But before we wrap up, we're hoping to, once again, get the Mr. Kwesi Agyeman, the Ghana Tourism Authority CEO, to also answer a few questions for us on this. But some of you have just been sending in your messages. I want to talk about online payment platforms. To a large extent, we're not digitized when it comes to payment of goods and services. I'm wondering what the Hoteliers Association is doing about online payment platforms, making it very easy for people to be able to make reservations, easy and safe for people to be able to make online payments when they make reservations when they have to pay.
Gitty, in responding to issues like this, I always like to make that distinction between the smaller hotels and the bigger hotels. Okay. Because indeed, the upstream hotels, the bigger hotels are doing it. There's online booking, there's online payments, it's there.
How do we get the smaller hotels to that level?
It is a campaign that we intend to launch in 2020.
Tell us about this campaign.
Okay, so we have come to the realization that a lot of our members or the hotels are not benefiting from the online presence as they should. So we intend to partner some of the those companies to find a way to support with the hotels getting on board. And it will also include education. It will include education because we need to get the hotelier to understand and appreciate the importance of going onto that internet system, onto that website, so that they will be able to connect with the people outside. And it also has to do with payments. At least for now, I know that a lot of hotels are using the mobile money payments.
Okay.
It's working.
Okay.
In the past, a lot of them were a bit uncomfortable with it, but now it's catching up a lot. A lot of the hotels you go, you see the sign there. You can pay by this, that, or to the mobile transfer. What they've not been able to grasp well is the POS.
Yes.
That one is still not comfortable with, probably because there are some charges here and there with it, you know. So even there, we can also work with the banks to see how best we can. And it's one area that we're also pushing out, getting a bank that we can collaborate with to ensure that a lot of our hotels move towards a cashless society that we all want to.
Okay. Well, I'll say big thanks. We're not done yet. We'll just take a very quick story from the Art Center. Art Center is one of the places that it appears some people are making money off. Well, largely, it looks like it's been good so far. Although there's still these teething problems that we're trying to deal with. Online payment system, for example, expansion of our hotel industry so people can have easier access to accommodation, etc. Take a look at a report put together by Manuel Crantain from the Art Center yesterday.
Everything is cool, you know. The day just started, so we're hoping for the best. Yeah, that since everything is nice, you know, we're making business because of, you know, the Americans, they make the business, you know, but the other people, instead of the, let me say, the Nigerians and stuff, they don't make the business nice, but the Americans, they make it nice. So I can see today I'll be making it more.
So sales has...
The Accra Art Center, home to some of Ghana's most exclusive artistic crafts, is enjoying increased patronage on the back of the year of return.
Okay.
With daily sales almost tripling this Christmas season, the vendors with their wares on display say the arrival of the returnees greatly boosted their businesses, which they hope can be sustained.
Everything is nice, you know, we're making business because of, you know, the Americans, they make the business, you know, but the other people, instead of the, let me say, the Nigerians and stuff, they don't make the business nice, but the Americans, they make it nice. See, it's a season something, yeah, so today like this, I can make like 2,000, 5,000 and stuff if the market is good. But when the market is not good, it's like 1,000, 1,500 and stuff.
Sales has been okay since Saturday. And yesterday it was very good because they kept coming. And today too, we are hoping for the better.
Meanwhile, the chairman of the Kente section of the Arts and Crafts Dealers Association at the center, Charles Kofi Apia, says the planning of the Year of Return campaign excluded the local craftsmen. He believes the success of the Year of Return and its impact on their business would have been amplified with better consultation and collaboration with the sector ministry and the Year of Return Secretariat.
In our sector, there is no advertisement for the Center for. You do hear that the center minister make an advert for Center for National Culture. No, always only those people who are playing music. Always, since I was here about 30 years, even they couldn't even step here to come and sit down with that to ask our problem to help us. Always we hear that there is this money for creative arts. With that, we didn't even hear when we just go there to ask them. They just give to the musicians. We, the people who are doing great things here, doing our own handicrafts to sell and get money for the nation, they didn't add us.
Like Thomas Merton says, art enables us to find ourselves and lose ourselves at the same time. So if you're here for the Year of Return, don't forget to pick a piece of the motherland away with you. For JoyNews, my name is Manuel Crantain.
So that's a report that we brought from Art Center. I mean, I know that I'm not sure if there's a part of the Hoteliers Association that includes people, you know, artisans, etc. Because your guests, they patronize these goods. But what are your thoughts? The Kente people, for example, think that they've not been involved. You said that there were meetings upon meetings that you attended, but it appears that not everybody was included.
Well, he may be right. He may be right. I have also heard some of these complaints also from, was it Black Rasta?
Black Rasta, I haven't heard him.
Well, he complained bitterly about that too. You see, when you organize a program like this, you are certainly bound to have some of these challenges. And it's only fair that when the challenges are brought up, you find a way to deal with them going forward. Okay. So I wouldn't want to take anything from the success of this year of return thing. But just to say that for those who have these grievances, point it out to the ministry, point it out to GTA, and I'm sure they'll bring it on board, because in our interaction with them, what we see is that zeal to get this thing going. And it has achieved massive success in terms of directing media traffic to Ghana, directing all these things to Ghana. So let's not take too much from the success. But let's look at the positives. Exactly. Let's focus on the positives. Moving forward.
Well, we're focusing on the positives. We're also looking at how to sustain this positivity. You know, the positive vibes. How do we sustain it? Because sustaining it also means that putting in place the right measures that makes it attractive. So when people come after the hype, they don't get disappointed and they go insulting us. Hopefully not. But hopefully you're having a good holiday in the year of return fever, except a whole lot of traffic. But we can manage that. I've been doing this conversation with Dr. Edward Aka.
If you permit me, let me quickly mention that we value the impact of the year of return so much so that at our awards next month, 18th January, we intend to award the president.
Oh, really? You want to award the president?
Yes, honor him for significant contribution to the industry. In terms of this year of return.
Well, you chose to announce it here, so hopefully you award the show too. For doing a lot of year of return business and allowing you to announce that you are awarding the president on this show. We'll look forward to that day. We'll see how it goes. Dr. Edward Akanyamike Jr. is president of the Ghana Hoteliers Association. We've been talking about some of the teething problems regarding online payment modules, accommodation, availability of space for the people that we're looking to attract, and assessing the year of return generally. He says he will not want to take anything away from it. It's been largely positive. We keep the positive vibes going, but also we work on these teething problems, make sure that they don't recur next year as we look at year beyond the return. Thank you very much for coming once again. Well, talking about President Akufo-Addo, who the hoteliers want to reward or award, he's saying that blacks around the world must work hard to excel in industry. He says Africans and those in the diaspora must have the vision of a continent that does not depend on aid. Africa receives billions of dollars from so-called bilateral donors to fund budgets. President Akufo-Addo says it's time to change the narrative. He was speaking at the Global Black Economic Forum at the Mervyn Peak Ambassadors Hotel here in Accra.
For this forum, Full Circle Entrepreneurship Globalizing Community Conference brings into sharp focus the next step of our journey in the years beyond the return. History tells us of the positive impact of diasporan communities on the growth and development of countries through increased trade activities, rising investments, and the transfer of skills and knowledge. I believe that beyond the remittances that you bring home, beyond participating in the year of return, you, our kith and kin in the African diaspora, have a crucial part to play towards the growth and development of Africa with a huge potential. Our continent is generally acknowledged to be the best endowed in the world. The great rivers of the world flow through our continent, and so do the lakes and the dramatic waterfalls. We have breathtaking deserts as well. We have minerals that the rest of the world would kill for, and all the minerals that are needed to run modern economies are in our continent. Indeed, 30% of the Earth's remaining minerals are in Africa. We have fertile lands, we have picturesque and captivating landscapes, and useful and interesting plants. And we're still home to what is left of the big animals on our planet. Today, Africa has the youngest population in the world, and we have the human resource that has provided the manpower for many civilizations. This is the background to the imperative need for the enhancement of Africa's capacity to be self-reliant. It should be obvious to all black people in the world by now that their dignity and standing are intricately bound up with the dignity and standing of Africa.
President Akufo-Addo also spoke about the year of return, which he says is critical to helping blacks better appreciate where they came from. He says some of Ghana's consulates around the world run out of visas as a result of the volume of applications.
It has meant that we've had a lot of visitors to Ghana, evidence in the shortage of visas in most of our embassies across the world, with the office of the Honorary Consulate General of Ghana in Houston, for example, publishing a non-issuance of visas on its website owing to the exhaustion of supply. Statistics from the Ministry of Tourism indicate that 200,000 more people took up the offer to return to the motherland. I'm told that by the end of the year, we're expecting to hit the magic figure of 1 million visitors. I want to thank you very much for this historic development.